Okay, we can broadcast.
Yes, to broadcast to start.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, start.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our webinar, and we have the pleasure to introduce Mr. Gid, our guest today, one of the most famous coaches in world volleyball. Mr. Gid are famous for having transitioned the Netherlands men's team in 2014 after coaching the Spain's women's team from Dutch women's team from 2012 to 2014. He served as a Dutch junior men's coach for 5 years, winning a silver medal with them at the 2004 Junior European Championships. His first major coaching experience came when he was an assistant coach for his home country's women's team from 1994 to 1998. He won the 1995 European Championships and finished 5th at the 1996 Olympic Games. At club level, Mr. Gido has coached teams in Amsterdam, as well as Italy and Spain. It is my pleasure to welcome Gido to the CAVB webinar under the umbrella of the CAVB and the CAVB Academy. Thank you, Gido. You can take over.
Welcome, everybody. I'm in or not?
Hello, Gido. You can proceed.
Sorry?
You may proceed. You can proceed. Go ahead.
Yes. Hello, I'm Gido Vermeulen. I'm very happy that I'm asked to give a webinar for the CAVB. The last year I worked in Egypt as the coach of the national team. And I found a lot of passionate, interesting people in the continent of Africa who love the volleyball game a lot. So I'm really happy and honored that I can do something back here in the webinar and share my experiences with the coaches all over the world. I coached a lot of in different styles. I coached men, I coached women, coached the juniors, men and women. So I have a lot of experience in different sides of volleyball. And in all those years, I was really interested always in the science behind our game and in the research of our game. And the last years, I'm really tried to specialize myself in how players learn, how we can teach players better, how we can develop young players to a higher level. And what I found in this is that one of my special attention had our eyes. How does our eyes work, and how can eyes help in learning? So that Mr. Sherif asked me to say something about this in this webinar. So that's my expertise at this moment, what I want to share with everybody on this webinar. So I made some little PowerPoint as well, so I will share the screen with everybody to start the webinar. So the webinar is called "Open Your Eyes and Train Your Brain." Yeah, and the first thing I wanted to discuss with everybody is wait a minute. Is the next question in what characteristics need the best players to have for playing modern volleyball? If we are looking in to the history of our game, that the game started a lot with technical developed players, especially in the Asian style in Japan, China, Korea. The volleyball was developed in the 60s and the 70s, and the teams who were really technically right, they played the good volleyball. After that, also the Americans specialized. They made a specialization in volleyball, so we get more specialized players on different positions. The Italians added a lot of tactics to the game. The Brazilians, the speed. The Dutch players were very tall, so the volleyball get a taller and taller game for everybody. The Serbians brought a lot of serve power to the game, and so on. So every top countries added some special things to the country. And for the last years, I'm really trying to find out what makes the modern player at the moment. And in my opinion, the modern volleyball player is the player who can adapt the best to every situation. So the best volleyball player is not technically the best, not physically the best, not mentally the best or tactically. Yeah, these are all situations where coaches worked a lot on the last 20, 30 years. So all the players are trained in the best ways all over the world. And at this moment, I think the player who can adapt the best to every situation, that is the modern volleyball player we see at this time in the world. So as coaches, I believe that we should work with our players to learn them to adapt the best in every situation in the volleyball situation. And the player who survives this adaptation will be one of the best players and will be very good. And it's up to us as coaches in how to learn them to adapt every situation and bring every situation in the volleyball game to a good result. If we talk about a great adaptive player, I want to show you something of them. That's one of the famous one, but you can also see what I mean, what it means to be an adaptive player. Wait a minute. So here comes the video. So if we see Nakapet playing, yeah, we see that he is inventing a new technique. Not one player before used this technique. And in my opinion, that's just an adaptation, a new adaptation of a set. Yeah, he's hanging in the air and he waits for a ball to hit. He gets a little bit different ball and he creates a new technique to hit the ball, what only he can do. And that's what this introduction is from Nakapet is really what I try to explain about what the players should do to adapt in the game. And the players who can do this the best, yeah, they will become the best players. This adaptation, yeah, that requires that you can register all information, what's coming to you. So it's really important as a player that you get a lot of information before you can handle. Yeah, and the most important thing is that in this is your eyes and your ears in the game. Yes, because you have to get the information through your system before you can handle, before you can learn to play. Yeah, so the eyes and the ears are our sensors who let us learn the game. So the more we know about the eyes and the ears, the better we can learn the game. Yeah, so for me, the eyes are in all the ball sports are the most important. Yeah, if the eyes don't work well, You can be strong, you can be technically right, but you have to register very well what information is coming to you. Yeah, you see this in all ball sports. If we look like a Messi in soccer, yeah, he is always looking around. He can take the ball on his feet, watching another side. Yeah, so he uses his eyes as one of the best in the world. So it's not only volleyball; it's sport-wise. Yeah, the guys who can watch one direction, play another direction, they are the players who develop the best in the game, and it's up to us as coaches to learn them that. So what's also in volleyball very essential, yeah, is the eye-hand coordination. So we make sets, attacks, reception, and everything we do by looking to the ball and trying to handle the ball in the best way. But all the information we get is coming from our eyes. So they are essential in our game. And how can we practice this? I will come later in the seminar on that. So the training of the eyes makes you quicker. So speed, if you need speed in the game, it's especially with weight training, you can get quicker. With an effective technique, you can get quicker. Yeah, but also looking at the right things and using the eyes in the right way, it makes you quicker. Yeah, if you need a lot of time, I'll show you an example. I can look with my whole body to one side and come back. This takes some time. I can also look only with my eyes to the left and to back, and I will be quicker. Yeah, so players who can use their eyes in the best way will also become quicker players, and that's very important in our game because it's the best. The best player is the player who adapts the best, but the best player is also the player, yeah, who can get the most speed in his actions, in hitting the ball and moving on the court. And the eyes help a lot in making the players better. So one of the things I will want to put here is that we as coaches, we always tell our players to watch the ball, keep your eyes on the ball. Yeah, and I put a question mark there because I will come back to it in the end of the seminar, because the question for the coaches is this true? Do we always need to put our eyes on the ball? In the beginning, if we learn the game, that's for sure very important that we watch the ball all the time. But you also remember, if you start playing volleyball, that somebody who makes the serve and is watching his serve on the baseline and still watching his serve and not running into the court, he will be too late for the defense. Or if the setter is watching for a long time his set, he will be too late to cover the ball. Or if the reception player is watching too long to his reception, he will be too late to hit the ball. Yeah. So the question is, do our eyes always have to watch the ball? Yeah. And if we learn the game, for sure, but if we get better and better, we see that there are a lot of moments in the game that we should not watch the ball at all. Yeah. Because the moment we watch the ball, yeah, we get slower. So if we can learn not to watch the ball sometimes and move quicker and keep our eyes back on the ball in a later stadium, it will make us quicker players. Yeah. So the phrase that we as coaches say always that we have to look at the ball, that's not always true. Yeah, you also have to change moments in the game where you don't look at the ball. Yeah, and you have to learn how you can use your eyes in which moment you look to the ball and which moment you don't do that. So then we go a little bit, I don't know how many coaches there are at the moment online, but so we have to find out in our eyes what is our best eye, because our two eyes are not the same. We have one eye what's more dominant than the other eye. So we have to know from our players, from our opponents, we can learn in which eye is our strongest eye. Yeah, and we call this the motor eye or the dominant eye. And we have a simple test for that, what we can do now at the webinar. For you as a coach, for your players, you can use the test. Yeah, and I want you to make a small triangle with your fingers, with your hands. Yeah, so you can watch through your hands to this dot on the screen at the moment in the PowerPoint. Yeah, if you make a small hole with your hands and you watch through your hands the dot, and then the question is, please close the left eye, yeah, and see if you still see the dot. Yeah, if you do, that's fine. That means your left eye is okay. But if you close your right eye, yeah, the left eye is open, so you can see with the left eye. But if you close your left eye, can you still see the dot? You will find out if you do this trick. Yeah, so you watch through your hands to the dot, that you will find out that one of the two eyes you have is seeing more than the other one. So one of the two eyes is dominant. Yeah, and you can imagine that if one side of your face is not seeing the ball very well, and one side of your face is seeing the ball on a good way. Yeah, so please try this test for yourself, that you can know that you understand that the eyes are not the same, and that one eye is better than the other eye. Yeah, we show this here, and we call this a horizontal peripheral vision. Yeah, and everybody has this. So there is a preference for the right side or the left side. And the part in the middle, yeah, we see with the both eyes. And if we close one of the eyes, we miss a part of our vision. Yeah, so it's important to know for us as coaches, for ourselves, yeah, and for our players, which eye is really watching in a well, and which eye have some problems with that. Yeah, so we have a left and right eye dominance in our sight. Yeah, the next dominance we have is that we also have a vertical peripheral vision. So we see a little bit better above us or a little bit better under us. There are some tests for that, but it's your vestibular organ. Yeah, it's your organ what keeps the balance in your head and keeps the balance in your eyes. Yeah, and some people have a dominance for looking a little bit down, and some people have a dominance for looking a little bit up. Yeah, so we have also a vertical peripheral vision. So horizontal, we have a better side left or right, and we have a better side up or down. Yeah, and that says that knowledge you need to know about the eye before you can teach some techniques to players. Yeah, because it's really interesting that your left eye, yeah, dominance is correlated to your right brain. So my left eye go to my right brain, and my right eye go to my left brain. Yeah, and they are connected. So if you have a better, if you dominant left eye, it means also that your right brain is more dominant. Yeah, and your brain is a complex muscle where everything is connected to everything. Yeah, but there is still a preference in dominance from the left eye to the right brain, and vice versa. So it means that we really have our brain on the left or the right side, depends on our eyesight, which part is better developed. Yeah, and if we go any further in this, yeah, it means that if you have a left eye, yeah, that your right brain is more dominant. Yeah, so it means if you have a left eye in this test, yeah, that your right side, yeah, your visual part that is better developed, your global perception, your intuition, tolerance, communication, everything what's on the right side, yeah, is related to the left eye, and everything in the left side of the brain is related to the right eye. Yeah, so if you have a right eye in this test, yeah, your brain is better developed in logical, in numbers, planning, discipline, etc. And this can be very interesting to know for our players. Yeah, if we teach them volleyball. Yeah, if we make the test, finish the test. So we made the test with the finger, so we know if our eye is left or right. Yeah, and then we can also do that. There's a small extra test. You can read it here. If we put our ear to the door, if we listen to the door, if we don't hear very well, there's always one ear you put there, or the other ear you put there. Yeah, that's also a left and right dominance. Yeah, you have the test. So if you have the left or the right ear, you have the test of the eye. Yeah, and you have the test with if you're left or right-handed, and if you're left or right-footed. If you fill in all these marks, you find out if you have a left or a right brain. Yeah, and left or right brain says a lot about the personality of the player, and the personality of the player says a lot about how this player learn and how we have to teach players to use their brain and use their eyes in a better way. Yeah, so we can find out in a very simple way if the players we coach, if they have a left or a right dominant eye and a left or a right dominant brain. If we know that, yeah, we have to know a little bit more about how do we learn, how do we teach players, and that's if we are learning, yeah, and if we want to improve our motor skills, yeah, we do that in our brain and in our neural system. We make a myelin. Yeah, a myelin is the sheet, yeah, what is around the axon and about the neurons. So if we make a movement that is making a neuron is going from your mind to your hand, and you can learn, if you teach to learn the ball, to play the ball, you create myelin. Myelin is just the sheet, it's the cover up, yeah, of the neuron. So the more we practice, yeah, the more we practice, yeah, the myelin gets thicker and thicker, and the better the technique is, the myelin gets thicker and thicker. So coaching and teaching is nothing else than creating more myelin in our neurons, so our techniques gets more effective. Yeah, these are some things where I want to start with to explain what we can do with all this knowledge. Yeah, so the question is, how can we implement this short introduction about the eyes, how the eyes work, how the brain works? How can we put this in our volleyball practices? Because that's why we are here. So we had this upper and lower preference. So our eyes see a little bit better down or a little bit better up. Yeah, and we see this back in all the techniques, what we use in, for example, for reception. Yeah, you see players in reception who can go better down to the floor. They are good in going to the floor. And there are players who are good, who go up and do receive the ball more on the upper body. Yeah, so there are two kinds of systems in receiving: people who go down the floor and people who can receive very well up. So that's related to the dominance in your eye. Yeah, so if you have an eye what's better looking up, yeah, you are better in receiving on your upper body, and if you look better down, you receive that. So we can help our players, if we know that, yeah, to teach them the other skills and to make them better in their preference. Yeah, it's also important for setting. Yeah, so if we have setters who are good in front here, yeah, they will set very good in the front. But if we have setters who have the eyes a little bit higher here, they are good in setting in the back. And we all know from our setters that some setter is very good playing in the front and another setter is very good playing in the back. And that's all related to the eyes and how the eye is working. Yeah, and that's, again, we can use that a lot, because if setters have a preference for playing in front, we should teach them a lot more in playing in the back and learn them to make a better ball over there or the other way around. Yeah, the other preference we had is the left and the right eye. Yeah, we see this a lot in reception. We can use that. If you have a very good left eye, it means that on the left side of your body, yeah, that you can receive much better than on the right side. If you have a good right eye, yeah, we can use that. We can receive better on the right side. Yeah, that's the same with blocking. We always thought that blocking, you have middle blockers who move very good to the left or very good to the right. That's because they have a stronger leg, left or right. No, that's related to the eye. Yeah, if your right eye is dominant, you move better to the right side. If your left eye is dominant, you move better to the left side. Yeah, so we can use that if we analyze our players, if we help them, yeah, we can see if we know which eye is dominant, we can also know which techniques we have to work on with them. Yeah, and this is also for the brain. If we found out we have a left eye and our right brain is related to that, yeah, that we have players who are very disciplined, yeah, who are very organized, yeah, and you have players who need more freedom, yeah, who like to have their own freedom, who like to take risk, who like to do things. And this you can get back to practice disciplines. There are players who really love to practice, who are really disciplined in practice, and there are players who love to play. These are two different type of players. They have different brains, and their brains work in a different way. So we cannot make for every player the same practice, the same game plan, because they are different in their brain. Yeah, so we have to help them, yeah, in players, yeah, who are really disciplined in the practice. They can do some exercises for hours, they don't mind. And there are players who are very quick, disorganized, who are very quick, disattracted. Yeah, they need some more games, they need more changing in the exercises, and it's the same for the game. Yeah, the players who like to take the risk, like to play, are always motivated to play, and the players who are disciplined in the practice, they have some more problems in the game. So that all depends on the brain and the dominance of the left and the right brain. Yeah, and also this myelin. Yeah, how do we create it? How can we use that? So we're talking about volleyball now, and about the volleyball exercises and how to train the eye in this. I have one, I call them brain balls. They are like this. These are really little balls, and I use them a lot because with these balls we can practice our techniques and learn the players to look. Because if I throw this little ball here right to me and I have to play again and catch it and play and catch it and catch it, I directly train my eyes. I train my eyes to look there, and improve my technique. You will see that players, yeah, if you work with two balls, if you work with little balls, yeah, they just play setting and they have to throw the ball, or they have to throw the ball to the other player and set again. Yeah, that we get action on action on action, and that's volleyball. A lot of volleyball players, they can do one action, and after that they stop. No, they have to learn to go action in action in action. And this creating myelin works as well in this way. If you can play very well one technique, you don't improve. But if you add this little ball to it, you will see that every top player, every good player get problems. The moment you get problems in your technique, you adapt your technique. Yeah, you have to think about your technique. You have to implement this extra ball in the technique. And in the meantime, yeah, you create more myelin. You create more problems in the brain to solve the problem. And the more problems you can solve in the practice, the better the brain is starting to work and the better the technique gets. In the beginning, not, because in the beginning, they have a lot of problems with extra balls. But later you will see that the techniques in this way improve a lot. So in this way, I use them, the brain balls. Yeah, you can make a lot of exercises with an extra ball, with an extra, implementing the balls in exercises, and you will see that players get really quicker in the way they look, quicker in the way they act. Yeah, that's can be very important in the game. Next to that, what I use is a funny thing. I'm from Holland, so they call us sometimes the Pirates. But in this way, I show you. Yeah. In this way, we can also play volleyball. Yeah, because at the moment I have to set now, I can only use my right eye. So I learn my players in a very special way how to use only the right eye. I have a right eye, so this is not a problem for me. Yeah, so if I play now the ball, I don't have any problem. But if I put it here, yeah, and I have to play now, and this is very simple, you can make something, but if you try this with your players, you will see that in one way the technique is amazing, good, and the other way the technique is totally wrong. It goes totally wrong with the player. So he finds out, yeah, that this eye is not dominant, this eye is his problem eye. If he knows what his problem eye is, he will start to work around it. Yeah, so you can make exercises where the wrong eye has to work hard. Yeah, the brain has to work again, has to work harder and harder to do the exercise. Yeah, and creates more myelin, creates more effective coordination. Yeah, and if we want to train our good eye, we can make our good eye better. Yeah, by making exercises with this. Don't do this in 6-6 because it gets very dangerous. Yeah, but if we work on techniques like the serve, or the reception, or the setting, or the reception, isolated, yeah, we can really improve the eyes of our players and get the brain quicker and make the brain quicker. Yeah, so I call them the Pirates And we use it a lot to get our players let their eyes train better. Yeah, so that's a few things what you can use in practices to use your left brain, your right brain, your upper and your lower preference, and it's all relating to techniques. Yeah, what we had in my time in the Dutch national team, we also had special classes. Yeah, where we can use. We can close one part, the other part we can let them shift, and our eyes train literally very quick. I show you. Oh, wait. Again. Again. Stop. You see also that we put some black paper over the net. Yeah, so in this moment, the players cannot see the coming ball. So they have to react on the last moment. So we can practice the eyes in this way. We did a lot of research in this, that what is the most important part for the eyes to look at, except for example, in serve reception. Yeah, so if you receive the ball, where you have to look at. Yeah, and we found out with research with universities that the most important moment to receive is the moment the server touch the ball. So if we can see the touch of the serve, we can receive pretty well, because then we already indicate where the ball comes. And if we don't see this, yeah, we have to work on our reaction time. So the later we see the ball, actually the more luck there is in our techniques. That's why we put the black paper on the net. Yeah, so that players don't have a lot of time to react, and they have to improve their reaction skills in seeing the ball at the latest moment. So what we actually do all the time is with this one, with the little ball, with the classes, with putting a paper over the net, we make it more difficult for the players. Yeah, we don't take the easy way. They can do this for hours, for years. Yeah, they improve little by little. But if we make it more difficult for players with classes, with the net, with the balls, yeah, the brain has to work harder. And the harder the brain works, the quicker and the more the player learns, and the better the techniques get in the end. So this is all for technical stuff in your practice. What can you do if you know how the eye works? If the eye is left or right, what is the best side of the player? Yeah, is he good on the left side or on the right side? How can I help him to do that? These are the glasses, the eyes, the little balls. How can we make our players better? Yeah, there is also a tactical part if you know the side of your players. Yeah, so if we, for example, if we go to the serve, and in this, I want you to tell you that, yeah, let's say that the white part is the good eye and the right part is the bad part. Yeah, so left is the dominant eye and right is the eye. If you do the test, you don't see that. You will see if you watch the serves for men, the jump serve or the float a little bit less, but in jump serve, you really see that if a player has a left eye, have a good left eye, yeah, that he will throw the ball, if he do the jump serve, a little bit on the left side of his body. So the serve will go then in the diagonal, yeah, to this position. So a player with a left dominant eye will always have a serve who goes to 1-6, how we call it position 1 and position 6. And we see that players who have a right dominant eye, yeah, are players who can really serve very good the line. So if we analyze players, if we want to help our own players in the practice, yeah, we have to know from our players if they have a left or a right dominant eye, because it means that their technique is totally based on their eye. Yeah, and if we want to change some things in the technique, we have to know how it works. This player will always throw the ball on his left side. Yeah, so if you want him to serve more line, you have to move this player a little bit to the left side. Yeah, so he can serve then in the diagonal. Yeah, so for the serve, it's very important where we throw the ball, because the player has one good eye where you throw the ball and one eye what is not so good. Yeah, and he will make these mistakes all the time if we don't help him to correct and give him the insight how to do that. Yeah, this is the same with the reception. Yeah, if we want to make points tactically in our reception, yeah, we have to know from the other players if they're good on the left or the right side. Yeah, and for many years we thought it's a technical skill or we have to play in different angles. It's all related, in my vision, to the eye. Yeah, if the left eye is dominant, yeah, then you can receive very well. So if you want to score in tactical things with your serve, you have to serve on the wrong side of the player. Yeah, and if you serve on the right, on the red part of the player, the chance to succeed with your serve is much better. So we try to find out always from our opponent players as well, yeah, if they have a left eye or a right eye dominance, and if they can, if they are better or worse on the left or the right side. So there we use it in tactics for reception. Yeah, it's also interesting to know for our setters. Yeah, if we give setter practice, if we play setter games, if we say that white is the dominant eye, so this setter is always standing here, he has the block here. Yeah, so in my opinion, yeah, this setter does not have a lot of clue what's happening with the block. He don't know because his left eye is dominant. He don't see the block, but he has a very good relation, yeah, with his attackers because he sees with his left eye exactly where his attackers are, and he has a good rhythm with his attackers. Yeah, you have setters who have a right eye dominant. These setters are always good to play against the block. They always see where the block goes and they can try to play against the block. Yeah, so but they most of the time they don't have a good relation with their attackers. I don't know if you can see my mouse. Yeah, but if we receive here, the reception is here in zone 1, yeah, it means, yeah, that this setter, before to see the ball, he really has to switch his whole head with the right eye to see the ball before he can set, and he will lose all the connection. Yeah, so if we do setter practice with our setters, we really have to learn the setters to use the eyes very well. You can see that very well in setters who have a left eye. If they want to see the block, they always look at the block, they look back and then set the ball. Yeah, but we can also learn our setters not to look with the whole head, but also look with the eyes. So we can make practices where we watch with the eyes and not with the whole head. Yeah, because if we move the whole head, the technique will change directly for the setter. Yeah, so in setter practices, if we know this is the good eye, yeah, we have to learn them to watch with the eye and not with the head. If this is the good eye, we know they are good with the block, but not there. So we have to help them all the time to learn to look with the good eye to every situation. Yeah, and in the tactics, it means, yeah, a lot that this setter, yeah, who sees the block will always play against the block. He will always try to fake the block, to watch the block and play against the block. Yeah, this setter with the left eye, he doesn't see the block. They don't see the block. They just play on their feeling. Yeah, they have a right brain, so they are more rhythm players, feeling players. Yeah, and they play on their intuition where they think the block will go or how they play their players, but they don't see the block. Yeah, so these players, if we have some data from data volley or some plans, they don't see the block, we can make decisions in the block. The setter with the right eye, yeah, he see the block, so we really have to fake him a little bit to get him blocked. Yeah, so to know from your setter if he is left or right eye, or to know from your opponent player, it's really interesting for your practices and for your tactical plan, how you make that. If we go further, it's the same for attack after reception. Let's say in the left page here, yeah, so the white eye is dominant. The left eye is dominant. So if the left eye is dominant and the player go to the net, yeah, he has to make this arrow to put his left eye up on the net before he attacks. Otherwise, he don't see the ball from the setter. Yeah, so a player with a left eye, yeah, will make this bow, yeah, and then hit the ball or the line or diagonal. A player with a right eye, who is here on the left side, Yeah, he doesn't have to look, because with the right eye he see the setter, he see the ball, and he goes always in one line to the ball. But because he goes in one line to the ball, yeah, it's more difficult for him, yeah, to hit diagonal or line. So the right eye player always hit the ball more or less in the center of the court, a little bit here and a little bit there, but can be quicker there with the ball. Yeah, so to know if a player is left or right eyes in the net, you always see different approaches in attack. Yeah, or attackers who take this really circle, yeah, or attackers who go straight. Yeah, and their technique is totally adapted, yeah, by their eye. Yeah, because if you go straight, you have an other arm swing than if you turn in and your left shoulder is on the net. But the left shoulder is on the net because the player have a left eye. So they want to put their shoulder on the net before they hit. And the right eye player don't need to do that. So the right eye player has another attack technique than a left eye player. And they develop this from when they are kids. They develop this, some coaches help them. Yeah, but you can see these patterns all the time in the attacking. It's the same for the middle block. I mentioned it before. Yeah, if we have a left eye as middle blocker, yeah, we move better to the left. And we have some problems. You always see blockers have problems one way and go easy the other way. Yeah, this depends a lot of the eye in the eye, and we can see that one blocker is always going one side the right way and the other side not. And that's all the time the eye, because if I already see what's happening there on this side, yeah, I can move quicker there, and I have problems going this way. Yeah, so also for middle blockers, yeah, what you can do if a middle blocker has a good eye on the right, you can put him a little bit more to the left if he has problems going to the left, or if he has a little problem, he moves better there, he can stand a little bit more there. And that all depends on the eye, and we have to train these eyes. If you put these little things on your blockers, you will see directly which way they move better and which way they have problems, and they can train their eyes and they can train their brain to move better in these situations. Yeah, so that's for blocking, but it's also for blocking on the left and the right side. For sure, you have players who go to the left side and always have problems on the left side, because it's their left eye who don't see very well, so they have to turn their right eye to the block, and the block is messing up. Yeah, and if you block to your good eye, always players can close the line very well because they see it already in hand. So don't blame the player. He cannot handle it because his eye decides if he is a good line blocker or not. And if you watch a lot of videos of players, you will see that some players, they know from themselves. So if they have a good eye here, yeah, they already go a little bit there and they make more space there, or they go a little bit there and they make the space there. So the player adapts already, yeah, to his visual, to his vision. Yeah, you can see players in block and reception. You see that players are going already to stand a little bit closer together because they know, oh, this is my wrong side, this is your wrong side. Yeah, so we move closer and we give some space over there. So to know from a player, from an opponent team, if he's left or right eye, you can see in reception how they stand. They give some space there and they give a little space there. You already know that they have problems there and they don't have problems on the other side. So observing players, yeah, you can already see which eyes are good for them. So I go back to the video I showed in the beginning, and we go back to the adaptive player Nakapet. Yeah. Wait, we have to go push here. Excuse me. So the question is, to the coaches, has Nakapet a right eye or a left eye? Yeah, and is so if you really look the technique he is using, he's amazingly quick, he's amazingly skillful. But it's also true that the set, if you watch the set now from Tanuti, yeah, you will see that the set is a little bit behind him. Yeah, so actually it's an adaptation from him to the set, because he likes the set a little bit in front of him and hit him normally. Yeah, but because he adapts so well, he can take the ball with this new technique behind his shoulder. Oh. Yeah, so this is the moment he hits the ball. Yeah, and if you see this in the technique, this is only possible if you have a right eye. Yeah, watch the technique again. That's the moment he hits the ball. Here, because his right eye is there, his left eye don't look at the ball, so they call it a no-look shot. But he doesn't use his left eye if he hits the ball. He uses his right eye if he hits the ball. Yeah, so he makes this amazing technique. He invented it, yeah, because it's also only possible for players who have a right eye. Yeah, who have a good right eye, they can make the technique there, because their left eye they don't use. Yeah, and you see also in the approaches of Nakapet from his attacking. Yeah, you can see here very well that he comes in one line to the net. He doesn't come to the left side. He comes in one line with the net, and he's using his right eye in an amazing way. So that was Capet, the most adaptive player we know at the moment, and in my eyes, the future player of modern volleyball, who uses his eye in an amazing way. And that's what we as coaches should work with our players, yeah, to learn them these kind of skills, but only for their eyes, what's the best for them. This is the end quick variation or presentation of my knowledge of the eyes and how we use the eyes in practice in games. I can see that Mr. Sherif is already arrived or is online now. Can you take over?
Yes. Yes, please. First of all, I would like to thank you, Gido. I would like to apologize. In the beginning, I had some problems, internet connection, and now I'm here. I'm here starting from the beginning of the webinar. It's a valuable information, and I hope everybody can, get the big benefit from it. But I need to ask you about myself. Is I am left or right eye?
Did you do the test? I think you have right eye, Mr. Sherif.
Yes, right, that's right.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, I did the test and I found that I have a right eye.
Yes.
Okay, now I'm asking Tariq. Tariq, please let our coaches appear. I mean, we will start with the first one, Swajru, Dr. Swajru. Can you allow him to ask his question? طارق ممكن سواجرو تخليه يطلع اللي هو أول واحد ده؟
Okay, it seems he's no longer with us.
Okay, but his question is.
Okay, Sherif. He is now online.
Yes, okay, he returned back.
Yes, he's
Swajro?
returned. He's now online.
Unmute your phone, please. Your microphone, Swajro. Okay, the question is open skill needed by each volleyball players for you, Gido.
Yeah, I see that he's coming in now.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay. Please introduce yourself and from where, Swajro. I know you, of course, very well, but please introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you very much, Sherif, for this time. I'm Sujaro from Indonesia, Gido. And
Hello.
my question to you is about open skill. That ngapet use is open skill, not closed skill, right?
Yeah.
From the technique. So how we can balancing about our right eyes and left eyes. Some of question that some of training that you have done is use the pirate's eyes and also the other one. But I think how we need much the open skill than the closed skill.
Yeah,
What do you think?
yeah. We need more the open skill. Yeah, but that's different. If we really teach players in the beginning of their career, if we want to learn them the technique, we learn them in a closed skill, the first techniques. But at the moment the player is
Professionally,
he can use the closed skill, go to the open skill. Yeah, I don't believe so much in pepper, just set, attack, defense, because this action never happens in the game, never. Yeah, so we should not practice. My rule is I should never practice an exercise what will not happen in the game, never.
Yes.
Yeah, so we always use the net. Yeah, you have warm-up exercises, maybe 15-20 minutes, but after that you always have to use the net. If you practice, you always have to use the real situations. Yeah, to especially if you don't have a lot of time, yeah, go as quick as possible to the game situation. Yeah, if you have 40 hours, of course you can work a little bit more in closed situations. So it depends a little bit how much time you have. Yeah, but also the closed situation, I can with this little ball, I can make a closed practice. What's really effective for the brain, what makes the brain. If I work with this, players after 10 minutes have pain in the head. They have headache they have, because they have to do so much. It's a closed exercise, but we work at that moment. We work at the training of the brain, and we make the brain more effective. Yeah, but if you have the time, do that. If you don't have the time, please make a lot of open situations where players can adapt as quick as possible.
Okay. Thank you very much, Gido.
Okay.
Okay, the next one, Mr. Moses Poloto. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, please introduce yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, my name is Moses Poloto from Kenya.
Hello,
Okay.
Moses. Hello, Moses.
Yeah, my
Nice
name is
to meet you,
Moses
brother.
Poloto from Kenya. I am the head coach of the men national team for Kenya.
Okay.
Thank you,
Moses.
Mr. Gido, for giving us your experience. I remember I met you last year when we had the
Gido, can hear you the question, Gido?
No, I cannot hear the question.
Okay,
You have talked about the now in the case of an academy.
Moses, let me repeat the question because the voice is not clear. He is asking about what age may you test the eyes, ears, and brain. He's talking about age. Which age you would like to know when?
Yeah. So the side up and down, yeah, that's in the first 7-8 years. It's already fixed. It doesn't change. Yeah, and the left and the right eye is around 12-13 years. You can start with this slowly. Yeah, because it's also if players go to school, yeah, they also develop more left or right brain. Depends on if they study a lot or not. If people study a lot, yeah, you develop more your left brain in discipline, in planning, in numbers. Depends how much you go to school. This is also for school little sidetrack. But if you put the children in the class, if you are a teacher and children are sitting in the class, and here is the window of the class, and I have a left eye, I will never look to the teacher. So if you're teaching in a class, yeah, you can also use this trick about the eyes, because if I have a left, the teacher is there, yeah, I will look at the teacher. But if the window is here and I have a left eye, I'm all the time looking outside and not to the teacher. That's a funny step where what we use in schools, what we can use in schools as well. Yeah, but from 13, 14 years old, the eyes are already developing a strategy in left and right eye.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Moses. The next is Yusuf from South Africa. Hello, Yusuf. Yusuf, are you here? Okay, Yusuf. Okay. He said that he's thanking you about the interesting topic. And is it always the case that one side is dominant, or can there be a situation where initial dominate eyes?
Hello,
is that possible over time?
Hello, Yusuf.
Hello, sorry. Yeah, I lost connection there. Sorry about that.
Okay, I can hear you well now.
Yeah, okay, thanks. First of all, my name is Yusuf from Netherland, from Cape Town, South Africa.
Yep.
And thank you very much for this very interesting topic. It's a topic that it's hardly discussed. We're not exposed to this kind of information. So I've got a few questions, but I'm only going to ask one question.
Okay.
Basically, can the less dominant eye be trained to the point where it catches up with the initial dominant eye? Is it possible to point where both eyes are balanced equally?
No.
No.
You can improve a little bit, but you always have the dominance. Yeah, this will, but you can learn to use your head. Yeah, because you can look also like this, or you can look like this. If you put on the gap, if you put this one on, yeah, you see that players are going to move their head, yeah, and their technique will be more effective because they're using their best eye to see the ball. Yeah, so they are learning how they have to use their dominant eye to see the ball, and if they know that, yeah, they get more effective in their techniques.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's it's for I give you an example. For if you have the relation between the setter and the attacker. Yeah, if I'm right-handed, yeah, and I have a right eye, I will always hit the ball in this direction. Yeah, but if I have a right eye and I get the ball here, I will always be in the air like this.
Yes.
So we can help our players also by knowing from each other, yeah, that they want the ball a little bit more than that. And a lot of players are always like, no, I need the ball a little bit there. I need the ball a little bit there. Yeah, but you have to give the player the ball on the right side. of the right eye, not the left or the right arm, but the good eye has to be, the ball has to be set at the eye. Yeah, that depends if you're on the left side or the right side of the court. Yeah, where is the eye? If I'm on the right side of the court, I'm attacking in 2.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is my dominant eye, my left eye. I have to watch the ball and then I can hit. Yeah, but if this is my dominant eye, I have to go more like, and I can hit the line very easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the set must be more here for me, further. And if I have a left eye, the set must be a little bit shorter.
Yes.
To go. So that's, you know, that's how we can learn them to use their eyes better in how they move. They're more like this or more like this.
Yeah.
And you will see if you start doing this, that the player get a better understanding in why he's making mistakes or why the connection is not good. Yeah, and if you we use it also a lot in soccer. Yeah, we in soccer we also have to play the ball on the good side of the eye, not on the good side of the leg, because if the ball goes on the good side of the eye, you know, they adapt much quicker than on the wrong side. They need one extra touch, and that's the same in volleyball. If you play it on the right side, on the good side, yeah, then the technique gets involved more better. Yeah, but you cannot train it that it comes equally. You can only train that they understand how their brain is working, and like Nikapet is inventing this ball, but the left eye can never invent this ball. They can never hit this ball. Yeah, and he can do that, and all the right eye players can do this. That's my example. And if your players can understand what is the good side, they can help each other to give the ball on the good side, and that will improve the game very quickly.
Thank you very much. I've got one more question, but I'll give others a chance to ask their questions first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sherif, are you there?
Sherif, he's muted.
Yusuf, ask another.
Okay. Thank you, Yusuf. The next is Samir Assam from Algeria. Are you here, Samir?
I'm here.
Samir.
Excuse me.
Please tell us.
الو.
Yes, سمير.
نعم.
اسأل سؤالك يا سمير، تفضل.
ممكن سؤال بالعربية وتعمل
بالعربية، اوكي.
أنا حبيت نقول أن هل هذا النوع التدريب يستحسن أن يقام به عند في البيبي فولي عند الصغار علشان la plasticité cérébrale, ça veut dire المخ يستعمل أكثر عند الصغار، وذلك لكي نجده بعد ذلك عند الكبار. Voilà. C'est bon?
Okay. He would like to ask you, Gido, if it is good that he can use train the brain from the young age to be better in the when they arrive to the age of playing volleyball. I mean, when they come to be adults. This is the question. And he said, is the training of peripheral vision is more important than with small children, brain plasticity.
Yeah, because if the small children, if you do a lot of juggling with many balls, or with volleyballs and a little ball, you will see that if the young children, the plasticity of the brain is better, so they will adapt quicker. So the younger children start with this. Yeah, the better they get, the quicker they get. And you can even see in senior teams, if I do this in senior teams, that the older players have much more problems to change this than the young players. Yeah, so the brain of the young players adapts much quicker to all these little extra tricks. Yeah, and if they do this, their hand-eye coordination gets better, their ball control gets better, and that's what we want as coaches. Yeah, so the younger you start with this, the better it is.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Samir. Shukran, Samir. The next is Hissam, I think from Iran. Are you here, Sam?
Hello. Hello.
Hello, Essam.
Yes.
Hello, Mr. Gido and Mr. Sherif.
Yourself, please.
Hello, Mr. Gido and Mr. Sherif. I coach in volleyball team in Iran, and I want one question for you. I want when in a senior team, for example, the opposite balance for right or left eye. For example, opposite in right side in the court, he play in 5 rotation. We want to improve right eye or left eye. Thank you for your answer.
Okay. I assume that he is right-handed.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because that's important. Because on the right side of the court, what is a good combination is a left eye and a left hand. What is good on the right side, on the right hand, is the right eye. Yeah. So the right eye in two, the right eye can really hit hand out. They have a good feeling using the hands, hand out, hit the line. And the diagonal is not so difficult. Yeah, but if you can choose in players, I would always put the player with the right eye on the right side, and the player with the left eye on the left side. Yeah, so for the opposite players.
Sam, do you have another question?
No, thank you for your answer.
Okay.
Hello? Can you hear?
Yes.
Hello.
Okay, thank you. The next is Dennis Eliri. Are you here, Dennis?
Yes, I'm here. Hello.
Okay, introduce yourself, please. From where? Nigeria?
Yeah, this is Coach Dennis. Coach Dennis from Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I want to ask. I have a question for Coach Gido. Please, how will I manage a player that? How will I manage a player that has a issue with a medical, who has issue with his eyes, like a player who uses a medicated glasses? How will I manage such a player, or how will I know that he has a dominant right eye or dominant left eye?
I don't really understand the question, Sherif. Do you?
Me too. I have.
Okay, let me repeat it again. Let me repeat it again. What I'm saying that I have a player who has a medical issue, a medical eye issue, because there are some players who use glasses, who use medical glasses.
Yeah.
So how will I train such a player to know his dominant eyes when it comes to training?
In the same way, the classes don't matter. The classes help for deep, short, and long. The classes don't help for left and right. Yeah, so the class is for short and away. And this is a medical problem. What has nothing to do with left and right, because the left and right is related to the brain, and the short and deep is related to the eye pupil and the focus distance. And the muscles in the eye, the deep eye. Yeah. So this is so the people with the classes, it's all the same.
Oh, okay. Please, my second question is. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Go.
Yes, my second question. My second question is, how do I position the players who have right dominant eyes and the ones who have dominant left eyes during an attack? For example, you did an example of a middle blocker who attacks more from the right. What kind of attack do I have to teach such players who have dominant right eyes, who are middle blockers?
Yeah, for the middle blocker, it's the same as from the outside. Yeah, so if the middle blocker has a left eye, yeah, he's very good in approaching diagonal. Yeah, and hit to 5 and hit over the shoulder. If a player has a right eye, he is better in the neck, so behind the setter. There, yeah, then he is better. Yeah, so the left eye, you will always see the middle blocker with the right eye. He will go in one line to the setter. Yeah, so he will go this way with the right eye. Yeah, and the left eye will go like diagonal. Yeah, so you have to learn your right eye, man, also a little bit to go a little bit diagonal. Yeah, to see the ball. Yeah, and you will see that the right eye player, middle player, will always like to play in the neck of the setter. Yeah, he's better in the neck than in front. Yeah, so you can teach the right eye player to be more effective to play the ball in the neck, just short in the neck.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome, brother. The next is Atang Sigudi. Atang.
Yeah.
Are you here?
Yes, I'm
Okay,
online.
introduce yourself, please.
My name is Atang Sigudi from South Africa. I'm based in Limpopo province.
Okay.
So I would like to thank the coach for the. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes, go.
Yeah, I would like to thank the coach for the fabulous session that he gave us. My question is it possible that we have players that have an eye, a right eye dominant, but being left-handed? And
yes.
Then in that case, what are the tactics that the coach we can employ for that player to can be placed in the right position?
On the right or on the left side?
I mean, the player is having the right eye dominant, but you find the player being left-handed.
Left-handed, yeah.
Yes.
That's me.
I didn't want to tell them, okay? Gido is left-handed and right eye.
Yeah. So in position 2. Yeah, in position 2, it means if you you can see my screen now or not?
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah, so if he hits in position 2, he needs to go diagonal here. So you have to learn him to approach like this.
Okay.
Because then he can hit line and he can hit diagonal. Yeah, and if he comes line, if he comes like this, he has a problem in the technique. And if he comes from outside, he don't have a problem. And if he attacks on the left side, yeah, you have to learn him to go like this in one line. You understand the approach?
Yeah, I understand, coach.
Yeah, so here diagonal and here straight.
Thanks, coach.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Atang. Okay, brother, thank you. The next question is from Paul Bituk, the head coach of the women team in national team in Kenya, and he is one of our legends in Africa, and he is the African instructor also. Hello, Paul, are you here?
Yes, I hope you can hear me.
Hello, Paul.
Welcome.
Yes, hello, our friend. Hello to you, and thank you for having time to talk to us in Africa and coaches. I didn't really have a question to you, but I just appreciated your time and what we have learned from you today.
Okay.
It's not tonight only, but every time that we are in competition, you are always advising me, and I'm sure that you are always sharing with other coaches. Otherwise, I appreciate and I thank you, and I thank also Sherif for the good job.
Thank you for your nice words,
Thank you, Paul. I think also we have some other chat. Gido, no, okay. I think that's all, Gido, but I need from you at the end, if you can give us your opinion about African volleyball and how we can improve the level of African players. I mean, in brief, because I know it's a very, I mean, big issue or topic, but your advices, because you were the head coach of Egyptian team before, and I didn't speak in the beginning. I consider you one of the best all over the world. I know you deeply. I know your job. I know your work. I know how is you are honest in your work, and you have a good, I mean, a strategic way of working. I think your advices will be very valuable for African coaches.
Okay. For me, I think the physical potential in Africa is incredible. So all the players, women and men, they are physically, they have a great potential to develop. So there should be some knowledge about weight training to make players quicker and better. But the next thing is that I think it's important to learn them the game of volleyball. So to make a lot of situations in practice where players in the practice in the 6-6 learn to make the decisions in the tactics. Because I see the physical is okay, the technique is okay, mentally all the African players like to play, love to play, like to win, have a good mentality. What I see is the discipline in the tactics. We can improve. We can improve them to learn to make the block only on the right side or only on the left side and not everywhere. So what I should do to help is make a lot of 6-6 situations where players have to solve the problems and all the time repeat the problem. But that if they come in the game, that they see it again from the practice and can use it. Because there's a lot of creative players, but they don't play always in the system, always in the, and creativity is great, but it's only great if there is already a system. Only creativity doesn't work. So I should focus a lot on playing system-wise the volleyball game and learn the game, watch top teams, try to copy it or make it better even, and use the creativity in a system. That would be my advice in the game, because I see a lot of potential, and I see sometimes that players don't know exactly how to solve the problem. I had in Egypt an amazing team with a lot of experience who played Olympic Games, etc. But the teams, the other teams I saw in Africa, I think that's a step they can make to come closer to the other continents. And then it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time, I think. If African countries can work 20 hours a week and do the right things, yeah, because the potential is there. So it's not a matter of technique or physical potential or mental potential. Yeah, it's just volleyball knowledge and learning to play the game.
Okay, Gido. The next question is from Mr. Mohammed bin Mustafa. He's one of CAVB instructors. He's from Tunisia. I don't know if he can join us or not. First, before the question, I would like to welcome Mrs. Khadija. Sister Khadija, are you here from Uganda? Can you hear us? Mrs. Khadija is the president of Uganda Federation, and she sent a message and asked her if she is with us. Can you hear us, Mrs. Khadija? Okay. She said to our facilitator and panelists, and for you also, we are so grateful to CAVB. We are grateful to regards from Uganda Federation. This is very important. I think she is now with us.
I'm here with you. Thank you so much, Gido. Thank you so much, Sherif, for the wonderful presentation that we've had. I believe we are going to learn a lot from all the sessions that we've had. To Mr. Gido, we are grateful and we look forward to learning from you more and more. Thank you so much.
Okay, it was a pleasure.
Thank you, Mrs. Khadija. Thank you, President. And we are very happy that you were following us, and it's you are very kind to do that. And I hope everything is going good in Uganda. I think it's one of the countries are booming, and I think very soon we will see Uganda team on the podium. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. The next question I said to you from Mr. Mohammed bin Mustafa, if you can you allow him, Tariq, please, to enter. He said, in my opinion, Mr. Mohammed, can you hear us? Yes.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Mohammed. Assalamu alaikum.
Hello. Assalamu alaikum. Mashkoor, Captain Sherif. Hello, Captain Diego.
Hello.
Hello. Just I want to ask you, in your opinion, if you have two setters, one with right dominant A and the other with left dominant A, which one you choose to play from the first six, especially if your team need to play quickly?
I would start with the right eye setter, because they have discipline, they play a plan, they see the block, but the left eye setter will come in the end of the set because he is creative and he does things on the last moment. He makes the decisions on the last moment, so he is more unpredictable. So first you want to start the game with discipline and a plan and a strategy, and if you come later in the game, I would put the left eye player in, because he's more creative and he's unpredictable.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Mr. Mohammed.
Okay, thanks. Okay.
Okay.
It's okay for you? You're welcome.
Yes, yes, okay.
I don't know. Okay. Mute your phone, please, your microphone. Gido, please. Another question from Swajro from Indonesia. How to make more balance between upper body and lower body?
In general?
Yes, in general, yes. Or maybe you can talk about reception, about, yes.
Yes. So you will see that players who have who are better in going down, yeah, who have a better underside, yeah, these players always start more to the back line because they are very good going in front, and players who have the eyesight more up are very good in moving backwards. So you always see that players who receive, some player go more in front, and one player go more to the baseline, to the serve line. Yeah, so you have to learn the players that if they are good, but they have to work together as well. So they have to learn, yeah, that they give away where they are good. If they are good in going to the floor, they can start more to the back line, to the serve line. If they're not so good, they have to stand a little bit more to the 3-meter line, and they can walk better back. Yeah, so the players have a preference for passing in front and keeping the space in front of them, or a preference for passing in the back. And that you can teach them and learn them, and they can improve their reception skills very quickly in this way. Did you hear me?
Little bit. Okay, it's okay now.
Okay.
I think at the end, we have no more questions. I would like to thank, first of all, I would like to thank you of your valuable session today and valuable webinar. And also, I would like to send regards from Dr. Alwani and all the board. I think they are supporting our webinars, and I think also I would like to thank our colleagues in CAVB. They are doing a lot of efforts to help us, and also I hope in the future we can meet together again. Thanks, Tarek.
Thank you.
For your efforts. Thanks also. I think Enzo is not here now, but he is doing a very good job. And thanks Tarek Al-Adwar, and also Hisham. He did a lot of efforts last week to help us tonight. And I think everything is going good today, except my beginning. I lost the connection, but now we are here. And we had a very successful webinar with a very dear friend, first, dear brother, and also a very top-level coach. Thank you, Gido, and
thank you.
Next time we will be together very soon, I hope. Okay.
Thanks for having me. It was an honor. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Thank
Bye.
you, President Khadija. Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.